Hello everyone, Kalive here, and welcome back to Ark Survival Ascended, the island. So, in the previous episode, we went and did the 3 easiest caves. So this episode, we're going to do 2 more caves, and we're going to go get another dino that we're going to need for the Overseer. So at this point, we're kind of planning ahead a little bit, and what I want to do is I want to get a Carchar that's bred up and it has a lot of melee damage. And I want to do that because I want to use that thing in the Overseer's cave. So that's kind of the plan in the long term, but those things take forever to breed. And in order to have them ready by the time we go to the Overseer, it's going to require us to start doing that now. So I'm going to do that after we do the caves. So we're going to do the caves first. And we're going to do the central cave, which is actually right over there in this little area. And then far, far beyond that is going to be the Carno Island Cave, and that's the next one we're going to do. It's the next one in the list of easiness, so we'll do that one as well. And both of those you can get by with Thylas or Baryonyx, so either one. So we'll go ahead and get ready, and then we'll go over these. You don't need a lot of stuff for this. They're pretty much just run in, grab the stuff, and then run back out. There's not a whole lot of requirements as far as grappling hooks and things like that go. So I'll get ready and then we'll head over there. Alright, we're back and this is where we are. This is the volcano and down there is the cave, this little hill behind the volcano. So the coordinates are going to be roughly 41.2 and 45.4. And then down here you can see this path that leads into the volcano. There's a couple things I would recommend before you park here is just look around and make sure there's nothing dangerous around here, because sometimes you might get the rare Giga that pops up on this mountain up there and then just works its way down. So this is potentially Giga area. Just make sure nothing's over here. I'm gonna kill this guy real quick and then we'll go on in. So in this cave, we can probably go with the Baryonyx. The Thyla, there are some tight spaces in there, so Thyla may not fit in a lot of these places, but the Baryonyx definitely would. You want to put down some sleeping bags, and you probably want to be careful with the bats in here. I actually didn't bring any antidotes, but I think we'll be fine. There's also a lot of arthropollars in here, so you're going to probably want to take your gear off, specifically your armor. If you have a decent otter, it's not going to be that big of a deal. So this is like the first path right here is where it splits off. So what you probably could do is just mark this spot right here and just make this like your rally point right here, so that you know you can go this way and head back up towards the exit. So let's go ahead and, yeah, let's get the Baryonyx, throw it out. And I'm probably gonna take the gear off, because I really don't want to keep repairing this stuff. You can also come in here with just like regular cloth set, and just repair it with fiber. But I think we'll be fine. So yeah, this is a cave that you can use. Hey, look at all the Arthurs in here. Yeah, you could use a Baryonyx, you can also use a Thyla, doesn't matter. It's also a pretty good cave to grab some beetles in. So what you're gonna find about this cave is that there's multiple paths that lead you to the same spot. So you'll be very careful with that. As long as you don't go like up this path right here, you should be fine. As you go into this first water area right here, you just want to keep going past that, and past that's going to be another water area, and that's the one where the actual artifact is. I'm just going to check these drops just to see what's in them. They are low-level drops. These are low-level caves. So we really have to avoid the bats now because we're getting really low on health. I'm not seeing any bats though. But that's where the artifact is, right there. Alright, so this is the artifact right here. There's gonna be like stuff around this area, so you're gonna be very careful with grabbing this artifact. There's water down there, so you don't have to worry too much about like falling in there. There might be some enemies in there that you need to clear out before you jump off, but other than that, it should be fine. I think we're good. Alright, so that's the artifact. And yeah, we can go back up and just wait around for it to respawn. Then we'll put it in our otter. So let's just go back up here. And then we'll drop off our otter. Throw it in there. And then we'll be set. Just need to wait around now. I think I hear it respawn, so let's go back and grab this next one. And now we just need to run out, so it's not too far to get to the top, so we can just bypass all the respawns and then run out pretty quickly. Oh, not that way. We want to go back out towards the other water. So there's the other water, go around it. Yeah, keep on going up, and then pretty much head towards the rally point. Should be fine. Alright, so that's the artifact. So we got that one. So let's go ahead and get our baryonyx. Then we can head out to the next cave. Alright, so here we are on the northern part of the Carno island. So this is where we are on the map. So roughly 88.7 by 91.7. And this is actually on the very, very far northeastern part of the map. So if we zoom out here, this is where we are up here. This is Carno Island because there are mostly carnivores on this island. Where like our herbivore island only has herbivores. So you're gonna find some Rexes. This is a pretty good Rex spot. And lots of Argies. And other things too. So the cave is right here in this hillside. And you're gonna be able to go in here. But you're going to want to clear this place out. There's going to be a lot of stuff around here that can attack your flyer. Especially if you're coming on like a PT or an RG. So probably one of the better spots to go is up on this little ledge here. Not on the bottom, but actually on the top here. You can park up there. You really want to clear out all the RGs though. So anywhere where there's an RG, you can kill it, and then once you've cleared it out, then you can actually go ahead and park your flyer up there. I'll probably put this guy on neutral, just in case he gets attacked, he can defend himself. Mostly the Rexes are the biggest problem, because they will like wander over here and try to attack whatever you have, even if it is like a wyvern. So yeah, so it's just better to be safe than sorry. So if you lose your flyer on this island, you're kind of stuck. You need to fly back over with something else. So this cave is broken up into two parts. The first part is going to be this area right here. And then it's going to be separated by some water. So we're gonna run into some water, which is fine. We need to go underwater and we need to swim to the other side. So you could get out your baryonyx and swim. I'm gonna use a thyla, but I'm not gonna throw it out here at this point. I'm gonna wait till I get over there and throw it out. It's not very far, it's not a very long swim. And once you get through the other side, you definitely want to throw it out pretty quickly. It's just right up here. There's gonna be bats, there's gonna be all kinds of stuff up here. Alright. So, kill the bats. Alright, so this cave is very vertical. Oh, I can't see. So yeah, there's the very bottom down there. You see all these bats they have in this cave. There's so many bats. You're gonna wind up getting rabies. It's probably better to bring some antidotes to this cave and the other cave. I'm gonna try to wing it. But down there is the artifact. You can see it right below where we're at. So with the Thylo, you can actually jump down there and then attempt to run through the gauntlet and climb back up. So it is possible to get down there pretty quickly, but I would put a marker like right here, just so you know where the endpoint is. That's where you want to mark so that when you do climb back up, you know where to look for. They made this cave to where it's incredibly hard to get out of with a Thyla. So you're going to spend a lot of time just fighting stuff, really. There are a lot of ledges in this cave as well, so when you're jumping, be very careful where you're jumping at. You could jump through a spot, you can also jump into a hole. You're going to fall down to the bottom if you do that, but you just need to be very careful where you're jumping. There are parts down there below that do have Megaloceros, and those things will pop out at night and attack you. Those are pretty bad to deal with. Fortunately, everything's pretty low level, so you're not going to be spending a lot of time having to worry about fighting things. They don't have a lot of HP, so it should be pretty quick to take care of a lot of these things. So here is the endpoint. This is where the artifact is. There's a lot of stuff in here you need to clear out, so I would definitely spend the time to clear it out, and then you can hop off and grab the artifact. There are Megalania in here as well, so you just want to check for those before you hop off. Alright, so that is the artifact of the Devourer. And this is another one of those artifacts that you probably want to get from the island. This is the artifact where if you're in the center, you have to go to the Northern Ice Cave. And it is quite the process to get through that cave. You have to go underwater, and then you have to go pop up and then fight through a lot of mobs to get to those artifacts. And so this artifact is definitely easier to get on the island than it is on the center. So let's sit around, wait for it to respawn, and then we'll pick the next one up. Alright, so it's back, so let's hop off. So grab it, and then we'll head out. Need to actually put our artifact on our otter. Alright, so that's the artifact. Let's go head back out. It's not that hard to get back out. You just go to the top, so we're heading way back up there to the very top. You could attempt to climb, but it's very hard to climb. with a Thyla, it's probably not too bad to climb with something like a Pyro main or a Shadow main, just by jumping around. But with Thyla, it's pretty hard to get out here. There's a lot of ledges that stick out and kind of prevent you from climbing up. Alright, so there's the water right here. So let's go hop out and make sure that's cleared over here. We can just get out and get our Thyla and just run out of the cave after swimming through the water again. So that's pretty much it for this cave. It's a very straightforward cave. It's just pretty easy to get to and from the artifact because it's such a linear path, even though it's straight down and it's more of a vertical cave. You can see the beginning and end from the top, so it's not that bad. And this part is a little confusing if you've never been here before with the water, but now that you know, it should be pretty easy to get through that and run outside, and hopefully your flyer isn't flying around trying to kill stuff. That's the other downside. This is pretty much why I would bring a shotgun, is just for this part. Oh, yep, he's flying around. Let's try to get him down. Alright, that's going to be it for the caves. Let's go head back to the base. Alright, we're back, and now we're going to go ahead and look for a Carchar. We're going to start on the island. So the places we're going to look at are going to be anywhere where there's peaks, like really high mountain peaks. So the volcano, this mountain here, this one over here, and then the two ice mountains. Pretty much where those things spawn. You're not going to find them anywhere on the southern part of the map. So I'm going to head over to the volcano and then we'll look around there. Alright, we're at the volcano, and I want to show you what I have first before we get started. So the basic premise behind capturing a Carchar is you need to feed it dead dinos, and then once you feed it enough, you're able to then ride it, and then at that point you're able to kill other dinos, and that increases the taming bar. So there's two ways to do that. One, you have to actually go out and shoot wild dinos and then feed it to the Carchar by dragging it, and you do that with a weapon or with a mount. The other way is if you're in PvP server, you can bring baby Rexes, and these are just brand new born baby Rexes, and then you can unclaim them and then kill them and then feed them to the Carchar. So that's pretty much the way to do that. PvP servers definitely have it easier with the Carchar, and so I'm going to use the baby Rex method, but you definitely can feed it other dinos. You just may need to kite it to a spot that has a lot of dinos that you can take out and feed it. And so we'll get into that a little bit more when we find one. But this is the place where they would spawn. They will spawn on any part of this mountain, mostly high up. So you'll see them on top of the mountain. You also see them spawn in these little like rocky parts out here. Then they also can kind of fall down or run down towards the bottom. You have to just fly around the mountain and then just double check. Especially the part right here where it's the entrance into the volcano. They tend to be in here as well. That's a Rex down there. And then yeah, up here as well. Sometimes they do spawn up here and then they fall into the volcano. So they might be inside of here. If that's the case, that's unfortunate. It's not too bad if you're on a PvP server, you can probably ride it out. But if you're on a PvE server, that would be pretty unfortunate. So yeah, I'm not really seeing one around here. Sometimes they spawn on this side of the mountain as well, and kind of run to this valley where there are a lot more animals to eat. So you just need to look around the mountain and just double check for them. They do eat a lot of things, so they will chase a lot of different animals, especially herbivores. So I didn't see any, so we're going to head over to the next mountain, which is right across the valley here. Alright, here's the next mountain. So we are right here on the map. Let me show you the other map, that's probably easier to see. So right here on the map, and those are the coordinates, latitude, longitude below. And this one isn't too big of a mountain, so actually flying around this mountain isn't too hard. So let me just look around here. For the most part, they're going to spawn on top of the mountain, but they definitely can run down further. Okay, so there's a Giga on this mountain. So this is also going to take up a spawn point for a Carchar. So we have to actually kill this thing in order for a Carchar to spawn. So this is probably one of the worst spots to have one of these guys spawn at, because you pretty much want to drown them. So getting them into the water is going to be a huge pain from this spot right here. On the coastline up there, it's pretty easy, but here it's actually pretty rough. Also on the volcano, it's also pretty rough. So I'll have to deal with this one later. The alternative is to bring it down somewhere and then trap it and then kill it. Probably just sit there and you can use a wyvern to kill it. You can also shotgun it to death, or you can just get a Thyla. But if you have them trapped, it's pretty easy to keep them in one spot and to take them out. So let's go to the next spot, the next mountain, and we'll check that one. There's usually 2 spawns up at one time, so we know where one is at least. So let's go look for the other one. Alright, so here we are on this mountain. Let's look at the map here. Over here. And we're going to look for the Giga on this mountain. Usually they spawn at the very top up here. And then they walk down as well. I see a Rex. Oh, I guess there's a node right here? Okay. Yeah, there's a Rex right here. What level's this guy? See, we can definitely kill this one. I don't know if Rexes would take up a spawn point for these things. I know for a fact that it's between a Giga and a Carchar, but I don't know if Rexes also would take up a spot. So we're gonna look around. This is probably the hardest one to see because this mountain is pretty big. And if they fall down into these trees, it's nearly impossible to find these things. So typically if you don't see them on the other mountains, it's going to be over here somewhere. It actually might be pretty far down. If you're the only one playing on a server, then chances are you're going to find this thing pretty quickly. But if you're playing with other people and they load in this area and it does chase something down and you're not aware of it it's going to be pretty hard to find this thing. So it just takes a little bit of time to look around this mountain. Yeah, just start from the top and then just kind of circle it. Alright, yeah, I would say that based on just looking around here, I haven't seen anything. I did a full loop around the mountain and have not found anything. So I'm going to say there's nothing up here as far as a Giga or a Carchar goes. So what we need to do is go to the next mountain, and that's going to be across, it's going to be the snow mountains. So we're going to check those out, and then we'll probably head over to the center. There's not very many spawn points on the center, but there are higher levels and they're easier to find. Alright, here we are on the snow mountain, one of the snow mountains. So this one over here, and you're typically going to find the one on this mountain pretty quickly. There's not many places for it to hide. And so if we just do a quick circle, They most likely will spawn at the very top up there, and sometimes they'll chase down mammoths and rhinos towards the bottom. But as you can see, there's not many places for them to hide, so they're pretty quick to spot on this mountain because it's a small mountain. So I'm looking around and I'll see if we can find one on here. Alright, I haven't seen one yet, so I'm guessing that it's not spawned on this mountain just yet. So let's go to the last mountain. That's going to be the one with the obelisk on it. Alright, here we are at the blue obelisk. And we're going to look for the Giga or Carchar on this mountain. And typically they spawn the northern part of the map, on the northern part of the mountain. So if you just come to the north side, which is facing the ocean here, then you could probably just scan this part and see if it did spawn. And if not, then they do spawn in other spots on here, but this is the more common area that they spawn on. So we'll have to take a look and fly around just to make sure we don't miss it. Alright, we looked around and I didn't see it. So if you don't see two of them on a map, there's a lot of reasons why that's the case. And chances are you probably just missed it. It's maybe in the jungle or it's down further below than what you thought it would be, which is the more likely answer. So what we do now is we can go out there and we can kill the other Giga that we did find. And that would free up a spawn, and then another thing would spawn in here. So you could do that. They are just a huge pain to kill. So what I'm probably going to do is going to go ahead and go over to the center. And then we'll check out the center and I'll show you those spawn locations. And hopefully we can find a Carchar there. Even if it's like a low level one, I just want to show you how the actual taming process works. So I'll see you over at the center. Alright, so we made it to the center, and this is the red obelisk on the center. So if we look at the map, we are on the northern part of the map. So up here. And this island is the volcano lava island. And this is where you'll find the vast majority of the spawns for the Gigas and Carchars. The thing is, they will spawn pretty much anywhere on this island. Typically around the actual red obelisk, but they could spawn on any part really, so it does make it a little bit harder to actually find them. But the fact that they are big does help out quite a bit, and there's not a whole lot of vegetation on the island. There is some, but it's pretty sparse. Really the biggest thing is going to be to try to look through all the rocky areas where they could be hiding. And it could take you a little bit of time, but at least you could focus on this one spot. There's another area that they do spawn in as well, and that's actually the best possible area. If we don't find anything here, we'll have to go and check out another spot. So yeah, I'm gonna go around and look for Carchar, and then we'll see if we can find one on this island. And if not, we'll move to the next spot, which is in the snowy area, and hopefully it's daytime by then. Alright, didn't take long, and we actually found one. So this is the Giga spot, so level 15, and it's a female. So that's unfortunate. That's another Giga. But fortunately, it's actually pretty easy to get these things drowned on this part of the map. So I can show you that real quick. We can just kind of bite it, and then try to get it to follow us into the water down here. Yeah, so if we just go down here, it should just run around the mountain and try to follow us. They're pretty quick though, so you have to be careful with that. Alright, it's gonna be in the water, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Once you get in the water, you can just fly away, and then you can come back and it should be pretty close to being drowned, or if it's being attacked by something. I think it's stuck on something, but I think it's still swimming. So if you get away fast enough, it should be fine. So we'll have to wait a minute, and then we can go back and check it out. Alright, let's head back over there. Let's check it out now. I think it should be good. It's been about a couple minutes. And yeah, I'm not seeing it at all, so it probably did drown. Yeah, it would have been right there. So yeah, it did drown, and... Alright, so that spawn is gone, so that does free up another spot, so we can actually go back and circle this island. But before I do that, I'm going to go to the next spot, which is going to be over here, towards this mountain right here. And hopefully we can find one there. So let's head over there, and then we'll look over there for a Carchar. And hopefully it is a Carchar, not a Giga again. Alright, so this is where we are on the map. So if you look at the map, we're right over here. And this is just that northern ice mountain, the southern ice mountain being right here. And so on this mountain, there are quite a few places that a Carchar could spawn, or a Giga. So you can start from the top and just kind of spiral around to see if anything spawned. It could take you a while, just like the other island. It could take you a little while to find something good. So you just have to keep spiraling down, and you can even follow the path down, because more than likely they're going to spawn on this big path that leads all the way down to the bottom. And they can go as far out as even the plains area, which is around this mountain. So it does take a little bit of time, but you can definitely look around here and see if it did spawn in here somewhere. Alright, I think I see something. Oh yeah, level 20. Okay, it's level 20 Carchar. It's up here on this little ledge. So it's not the best spot to get this thing. We have to probably bring it down somewhere. But yeah, there's one. So they do spawn on these little ledges as well, so keep that in mind. There might be multiple spawns on here. So I'm going to look around just a little bit longer, but I will probably grab that one if we don't find anything else. There's another one right here. That's a Giga? No, it's a Carchar. Okay, another Carchar, another male. Level 20. I was hoping to find a female Carchar. But this is actually a really good spot, because you do need to kill a lot of dinosaurs. And the problem with over on the lava island is that there are pyromanes now. And those things do damage. If you get attacked by it, it's like a flame damage, and it does reduce the taming effectiveness. So this is actually a pretty good spot, because there's a lot of dinos over here that you can kill. So we might actually catch this one, even though it's a male. It's very unfortunate it's a male. If it was a female, I'd be more excited about it. But at least we'll see the process and how that works. They can actually be found as far out as this lake over here, so they could spawn over here. We really need to find a higher level one though. So I'm not seeing anything else, so I'll go back and grab up one of those. Okay, so yeah, I was flying over here and I heard this one chomping down on something. This is actually a female. This is level 95 female. So this is well worth getting, although it is enraged right now. You can see the eyes are glowing. So if the eyes are glowing, you don't want to mess with it because it will attack you. But yeah, this is actually a much better one. So there's actually 3 of them on this little mountain here. We do need to get away from it so it doesn't aggro us. Alright, so now that we have our Carchar that we want to get, it's up there. And we have quite a few dinos over here. Hopefully this doesn't affect the taming of this thing and it goes straight for what we killed. We want to throw out our baby Rex. Want to unclaim it. You also want to make sure that you have your shoulder pet and your mount on passive. Alright, once you kill it, we can then drag it over to the Carchar's area. It's probably better if you don't have a shoulder mount on, but we'll see. So it should react to us being over here with a body that we're dragging. I'm not quite seeing it anymore. Should be over here somewhere. So we get close enough to it, it's going to smell the air like that. We can drop it down. It's going to walk towards it. Alright. I think it, yeah, it did. Oh. I don't think it ate it, did it? No, it didn't eat it. Alright, so let's drag it back. It's going to sniff the air, and then it's going to come for it. Alright, we'll drop it on the ground. You should walk towards it. Going to eat it, and then that should be a taming bar. There we go. So now we can climb on it. Okay, I think we can climb on it now. I don't know what that was. There we go. So now we can climb on it. It's got 9 stacks already. So we need to tame it by killing stuff. And we have to probably get our flyer. So you see the tame bar went up. It's like 1.3% now. There's a timer, and the timer is 500 seconds, I believe. We want to avoid being attacked though, so you definitely want to avoid taking damage. So let's we'll get our flyer here pretty soon. So the timer, we need to kill stuff and we need to feed it, and we also need to watch the stacks that it has. So right now it has 12 stacks. If it gets to 100 stacks, it's going to kick us off and it'll be aggressive. So we need to be careful with that. So ideally, we come down here and we just start killing a bunch of stuff. Woolly mammoths are really good. Anything with like a high weight is really good. And our tame effective somewhat down a little bit because we got hit. But you really want to avoid getting hit. Woolly rhinos are pretty good as well. They weigh quite a bit. So the lower level ones are pretty easy to tame. So like 95. Like under 100 is pretty easy to tame. When we start getting to 150s, you might have to do multiple taming sessions where the stacks get so high, it kicks you off. If that's the case, you're going to need to bring quite a few Rexes, like spare Rexes, to restart the taming process. And the only difference is that if you start running out of time, or if your stacks start getting really high, you want to go to a very secluded area where there's like not anything around you. Jump off. You can force jump off. That'll reset his stacks and everything. Timer run out, and then just run away. It's probably better to have like a RG with you, so that you can hop back on it pretty quick, because it's getting back onto a wyvern takes a while. So yeah, I would recommend getting something that's pretty easy to get back on. But then, like, once you've de-aggroed it and it's in a secluded area, you can just start the process all over again. The taming amount will still be in place, but your stacks will reset. So you'll be able to go back out and start taming it again with the amount of taming progress that you had before. Alright, you definitely want to avoid attacking any alphas, but it's not that big of a deal. If you do, just gotta be very careful you don't get hit. So you will lose a lot of taming effectiveness if you do get hit by this thing. Okay, yeah, so I wouldn't worry too much about the alphas. You're not gonna be able to do much to them. Just be careful with them. So we're running low on time. We're down to 2 minutes, but we're at 81%, so it's not that big of a deal. Two more mammoths. This actually might be good. There, we got one. Alright, now to make it back to our flyer. Alright, so we should have a path clear to our flyer, but we have to go back there. So let's track it, and yeah, I think we'll head that direction. This will be very interesting with a, I don't have a mount. Alright, I'm gonna hop up here, and then I'll get this wyvern. And then we should be ready to go back. Alright, we're back at the base. And this is what we got. So we got this Carchar. It was a level 95. And if we look at the melee, actually the melee wasn't too bad. 31 melee is a pretty decent base for a 95. Or it was a 95. It's now 142. So I'm hoping for a better one. This is actually a pretty good start though, so if we do happen to find a decent level male, we at least know we're getting a minimum of 31. And when you do get a bred one with imprints and everything, the melee goes up quite a bit. So yeah, this is actually a pretty good start. And what I'll probably do is I'll probably go around and kill those other low level ones on the other map, like I showed you how to do with the Giga, and then hopefully some new ones will spawn in. But yeah, this is the Carchar. So these are really good in the Overseer Cave. The more kills you get, the higher the damage goes. So like they'll just keep ramping up damage. And their stamina is really good too, so you can take on a lot of enemies. Not have to worry about the stamina. And they are small enough to fit in that cave. They're a little bit smaller than the Gigas, so they can easily fit in that cave. So I definitely recommend getting these. You can bring in an army of Rexes as well. but I wouldn't recommend fighting with an army of Rexes, only because there's so little space and there's so many opportunities for those Rexes to get lost or fall into lava and die. But if you have like a single, pretty well leveled up Carchar with a lot of melee, that's probably the best bet to go in there. Even if you have 2 of them, you can bring 2 of them in there. You cannot uncryopod things inside of the cave or even anywhere nearby that cave entrance. But you can, once you're in there, cryopod things up. So you can bring a bunch of cryopods on you and you can run through there with a Carchar or 2 Carchars that are mate boosted. Clear it out and then cryopod those 2 Carchars up and then bring down your Rex army. And you should have enough time to do that, and you have like an hour to do it. Even if you're by yourself, that should be enough time. But it's definitely easier to deal with 1 or 2 dinos than it is to deal with 40 or 50 dinos. So we'll get to that point very soon, and I'll show you that process once we get there. But at least now we have a good base to start off with. I do need to go get a male. I'll probably get a male that's going to be level 130 or higher. And then we can get these guys breeding, because the breeding process for the Carchars and the Gigas is most likely the longest. I think that's the longest breeding process of all the dinos. And it takes days for these things to breed and for you to raise a fully leveled up one. So it's quite the process. But yeah, that's gonna be it. So we got our Carchar. We go into the 2 caves that we wanted to go into. And those 2 caves are better done on the island, as we saw. If you go to the center, it's a much longer process to get them, I believe. It does require a lot more resources to go down there and get them. So you're definitely better off getting them on the island. But that's going to be it. I thank you for watching. I appreciate all the support, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.